welcome back to Alicia. Okay, you guys, so today I'm starting a series about like how Michael and I met. Just gonna tell you a little bit about myself and also just like, where did this love story start, I guess. So it's kind of awkward because, like you're putting this out there, but I feel like it's really important. So Michael and I met in Korea in 2018 in September. I was working for a company in a temporary position at that time before going to my own franchise in Dongtan. So I was kind of like a seat warmer for his position at that stage. I did not know like if it was going to be a boy or a girl or stuff, going to come over there and come and teach in Korea. I remember the day that he came to campus. I was busy working and getting ready for a class, and in walked Michael. I didn't see him initially because I had my back to the door, but I heard him, and he had the most gorgeous voice. And I was just like, no, Alicia, no man for you. We are done with men. This is the end. You're going to stick to your plan, save money, go home, buy a little tiny house and just do your own thing. So that was kind of thing I wanted to do at that stage. I was fluctuating between coming back to South Africa or going to live in Thailand or the Philippines. It was always like one of those three places. Anyway, so I heard him, I heard his voice. All the girls were fawning over him. So like, let me just tell you this, like if you go to Korea and you're a single girl, there are very few decent men around. It's very difficult to date a Korean man, not because they're not available or not kind or not courteous or not good enough. It's not that. It's just that culturally they try and keep the Korean line, the bloodline. They want to have their sons ideally marry another Korean so they can have more Koreans because they had a very low birth rate. They still have a very low birth rate. So just a little background on that. So as a single female, there's always a lot of competition because of course there are more females than males overseas teaching English. So yeah. Anyway, so the girls in the office were already fawning over him. Obviously he's handsome, so who wouldn't? So I turned around, I saw him, and he had this green jersey on over his suit tie thing that he was wearing. And he was just so handsome. He was just so handsome, really, really just so handsome. He has beautiful blue eyes, you guys, and they're so kind and warm at the same time. And our eyes met and there were sparkies, and Alicia was just like, no, Alicia, no, focus. So he already liked me at the time. He's got his version of the story, of course. And at that stage, like I have a fluctuating accent. So sometimes my accent would be like more American, sometimes it'd be a little bit more Australian, other times it'd be a little bit more British posh. I don't know why I do that. That's just, it's not like I was raised in any of these different countries, but my mind just does that. It's not something I like focus on to do anyway. So he loved my accent. And it was like weird because most people think I'm fake. So very interesting. So of course, Alicia took it upon herself to tell him the ins and the outs of this Hagwon franchise that he was getting involved in for the next year. I also wanted to download as much information as I possibly could that I felt would help him adjust to his life in Korea, which I do with most people, but I realized over time that it's basically useless. People come to a different country to have their own experience. They don't necessarily want or need your help. If they do, they will ask for it. So giving them a mass download about food and places to go and where they can study Korean all at once in one setting is not like ideal. So it's just like Alicia was just like, we are sticking to the plan. This is what we're doing. He shadowed me a couple of times for class just to see, because they have to, they're busy with training. All new people do that. So he was shadowing all of us, taking turns, going to different classes, observing how to teach the book and what the school kind of wanted you to do. And there was an opportunity to take him out for food and drinks and stuff. And in my schedule was changing. It's always fluctuating. So they said, okay, well, you're not going to have this time period off that you thought you were going to have off, which was when they were going to have meal together. So I was probably going to be teaching. So I said, oh, no, that's fine. So I bought him some gimbap because I've like, I do like him and I want to be nice to him. And I left like a little note, like, here's something for you to eat, because like the next day I won't be able to go out with all of you and go do all this stuff because I'll be teaching. And anyway, so then it happened that they canceled the class so I could go. So it didn't matter. They did the whole gimbap thing. He obviously, he took it like, she likes me kind of deal, So there's no hiding when you like someone. As much as you try to, it's just like, it's out there. Anyway, so he was going to move into the apartment I was staying in, which was his apartment, which I needed to hand over, but you give it to the school and then I move out and then he moves in the next day kind of deal. So he was moving in and he said, okay, so he's got like the Saturday or something free. Do I want to go with him to explore the Suwon Fortress? Like he wanted to know the different places around. So I said yes, but I immediately grabbed another person to come with me, one of the head English teachers at my campus in Dongtan for the same franchise. I said, okay, please come with me. I don't want to go alone. I really like him and I shouldn't like him. And girls get together. We talk about this stuff. And so she said, yeah, she'll come along. And then he felt like he needed to bring someone. So he invited another girl from his training but from a different campus. So she was in the same franchise, but for coming along, she had to, be his wingman. So, because obviously I'm bringing someone now. So we went and we explored. It was autumn at that stage and still really, really hot. So I was also transitioning more and more back towards just eating animal products and back to a normal kind of Western diet. I was vegan before that for like 5 years. And so the cultures in my stomach and the things weren't quite there. And I was not feeling good for about 2 months, transitioning back. So I wasn't really eating a lot. Oh, I looked fabulous. I was so skinny because I couldn't eat anything. Anyway, so I had a couple of nuts or something that day. We went hiking through the fortress, walking around. And then evening came around and they all decided, well, we're going to have pizza and beer. I was like, yay. Okay. So we were exploring into we had no idea where we were going. We're just exploring into this area. We found this really cool beer shop. So we went in there first. Now, Alicia didn't eat anything. Remember that, right? So I was having my beer and I was very, very happy about having this beer. And I was very tipsy, not drunk, tipsy. And so while we were waiting for to get into this pizza place, because there was a queue, so we assumed this is like the place to be. So we got in the queue and we were standing there. I already kind of like lost my I don't want to say inhibitions, but like I kind of lost the rules of engagement that I had made for myself to not fall in love with this guy, to not give an inch, And so anyway, we were having beer. We were sitting around this really tiny table and he was sitting next to me. And the next moment, I was having more beer, but and having some pizza. I took his hand and I kind of leaned into him and I realized what I was doing. And I was like, oh, no. But then the cat was pretty much out of the bag, and he knew I liked him, and he gave me the broadest smile I have ever seen. And he just held on to my hand. It was like, yep, now we know the truth. So, my wingman at the time was like, wow, gosh, you just gave in. There it is. Um, so we got on the subway together, all of us, and we're going different places. And then he asked me, like, can we do the Suwon Fortress? Just you and me. I would like to get to know you. Just you and me. So we went to the Suwon Fortress literally the next day. We had just been there, but we went back there the next day. We saw a lot more places, explored a lot. We walked all the way through the Suwon Fortress into another park. We found a park um we had like a spontaneous picnic. It was lovely. It was just like amazing, and we had so much to talk about, so many hopes and dreams to share. And we were sitting on this piece of grass in this park, and then I found a 4-leaf clover under his butt. So we laminated that and put the date on there and gave it to him, because I kept it. I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this guy. I feel like there could be something. I'm hoping there could be something. And we basically saw each other every weekend after that, either going hiking or exploring. And that's pretty much how things started between Michael and I. Thank you for listening.